Welcome guys to our one more exciting session, and we don't have any announcement to do. I'm sure people will trickle down, I wish and I hope. Let's start our session with our Toastmaster today, Anjana Balchis.
First, I would like to say there's one change in the agenda. So for second speech, Rashmi's speech, evaluator is going to be Tom Barber, and you can make the corrections on your agenda. It was initially Kelly Tang.
I saw him. I saw him 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. That's a minor change that we had in the agenda. Rest everything is as planned. Recently, I was talking to my daughter about cartoon characters, and I was sharing my experiences during my childhood, what cartoons I liked and why I liked it, and how excited we were to watch those, because we didn't have a dedicated cartoon channel back then. We would wait for watching those sessions. It would be weekly once or twice max, and there were these picked sessions that we were allowed to watch. So those were the days which we were looking forward to, and they always bring exciting and interesting memories for me when I look back. As kids, I'm sure we all have favorite cartoon characters, and we still do. My favorites on the list were Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Popeye. I don't know how many of you know that character. Very interesting and very strong character. So just to name a few. And if you look at animation back then and now, there's so much change. There's a significant change in the way it's animated and the way the show runs. And it's more of education right now. When I see my daughter watching any cartoons, it's more of education. That she's learning something or the other, whether it's Dora or Diego or any show. So I think that's one thing that's changed. When I recall what we were watching, it was only fun, excitement, running around. And now there's a lot of learning they do. And I've seen my daughter, she learns so much from the cartoon characters. She picks up things, names of the continents, places, I don't know what not. Probably I didn't even know all that when I was her age. And she's just 4 years old, so I'm really happy. And I do let her watch these interesting sessions a couple of times a week, and especially when I have to feed her, so that's an interesting story. Okay, now let's move on to the agenda, and we'll also learn about the favorite characters from the speakers of today. And they're doing various roles. Our general evaluator's favorite cartoon character while she was growing up was Tom and Jerry. She enjoyed watching them, and she enjoys it even today. She also felt that Tom and Jerry gave her important life lessons, and she's given me a list. I would like to read it because it's very interesting. It taught her how to be a team, make an effort to fight against common opponent, sharing is caring, failure is the pillar of success, friendship is the best gift ever. And the last one, which I really like, is never underestimate your opponent only because you think they're powerless. Let us please welcome our general evaluator for today, Karishma Damani.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't see any guests here today, so welcome. I'm the general evaluator for today's session, and I will conduct the evaluation portion of the meeting. I would first start with introducing my team, who will be doing a couple of evaluations, and then I will be closing the meet. I will be towards the end of the meeting doing the evaluation for the overall meeting. So I would like to now introduce my team. Madam Timekeeper Saira, would you please stand and describe your role?
I will be the timer for today. Both the speeches can take 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green board when it is 5 minutes, yellow one for 6, and red for 7. And for the table topics, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. So green for 1, yellow for 1, and 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2. Thank you.
Mr. Grammarian Paresh, can I request you to please stand and describe your role?
Hi, I'm Paresh Tyagi. Today my role is as a grammarian and the person to give you the word of the day. The word of the day today is temporal. Temporal is a synonym very much to temporary, something which is limited by time. An example of that is the impact of the loan was temporal. That is one example. I'll be making sure that identifying if there are any grammatical mistakes during our meeting and during the speech or the Toastmasters, and I'll be informing at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Can I now ask Mr. Accountant Ali, could you please describe your role for today?
As an accountant, my role today is to look for particular words, also inappropriate interjections such as and, but, so, will be noted by me. And speakers should not also repeat words like, I mean, this means. This all should be avoided. So I'll try to look for all of those words. Thank you.
Thank you. May I please welcome Toastmaster to introduce our first speaker.
Before we move on, I have one interesting question for you all. This is one of the surveys, the animated TV survey, based on influence, popularity, and hilarity. They listed the top 15 or 20 cartoon characters, most popular ones. So I would like you to take a guess and say which one you think is most popular. This is whenever the cartoon period started until now.
Mickey Mouse.
Anything else? Anyone else?
Tom and Jerry.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, most surprising to me as well, it was Bugs Bunny. And the second was Homer Simpson. And Mickey Mouse was the third. Yeah. Mickey Mouse was not a character, I think it was an icon or something, and it's still, till today, it is an icon. Okay. So, I asked our first speaker what was his favorite character, and he said Uncle Scrooge and his three little nephews, Louie, Dewey, and the third one I can't remember. But
Huey.
he's Huey. Okay, thank you. He's three.
Dewey.
Yeah, very interesting. I love those characters as well, and he loved them because of the adventure that this show had. So I would like to welcome Ritesh. He's doing his project 2, which with objective organize your speech, and the title for the speech today is Protecting Digital Self. Please welcome Ritesh for the second.
I want to bring a problem to the forum, which is not temporary. It's a problem which you can live very easily with this video. I'd like to start with this.
UnlimitedCashForFree.com, really? She's always on these sketchy sites. It's totally fake. Yeah, it's like she puts our personal info right out there, and it just takes one bad link to have our identity stolen.
Relax. What's mother's maiden name again? I'll just guess. Shit.
A couple of years back, actually in 2012, a very disturbing event happened from a personal side. A father actually came to know about his teen being pregnant, not from her, but actually from the target. It was, and how the target found out was actually they were trying to study the way the girl was doing her purchases and other things. I would say it was a win of the statistics, but actually on the personal privacy side, it was an invasion which happened. 5 years back, since 5 years, we have seen a trend in which the marriage is also getting affected because of Facebook. It all starts from one contact. It all starts from contact which the person makes online, tries to find some old flame, and probably starts becoming strong again. In all of these three scenarios, what is a common trend which you will actually see? One thing which is happening is people are getting adventurous in the online life. They start taking risk more than what they generally do in the real life. And it's not stopping now. It's actually growing a lot more. If you are in any way connected to the online world, if you have any accounts on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, I hope you know these questions and you have the answers for them. The answers you can give to me right now is, I don't care about these things. Or probably you will say, oh, I want to fix all these settings. They were there, I didn't even know. Or probably will fall somewhere in between, depending on your risk appetite. So here we were. We were trying to see, is there any difference between the way people behave in the real world and when they behave in the online world? We dug into the research and we found a hypothesis which was close to us, what we were thinking. The end users report actually privacy concerns, but when it comes to the behaving, they behave very differently. All the research actually say we behave differently. So here we were trying to understand, if this is a problem, how can we alert you as Intel Security? How can we alert you before such problem arise? We started looking into first trying to understand as a user who you are, because everybody's risk appetite changes. So we came with a framework of assessment. These are the 5 assessment questions which we are going to ask. Based on that, we are trying to understand what you care about, what you want to be in the online world. We were able to go to those assessments using a very interesting paper which was done on Facebook. It was based on 308 users, which are valid, 314 were the overall users. And in this paper, they tried to profile the Facebook users. So we got started there, like, okay, based on your behavior, we can profile you, we can put you in some category of where your concerns are. So in this paper, they have actually profiled all the users, and they came up saying that there can be 6 types of users broadly in Facebook, depending on your risk appetite, where you belong to. They did that by giving the users survey, and in that survey, people were asked, these are the settings, which settings you will go and you will change them. So basically they were trying to understand what you are concerned about. They came up with something, and this was the pattern over there. Based on the pattern, they tried to find groups of people who have more concern, let's say, on this green area. Then there are people who have less concern about this green region. So this is actually some set of questions which is falling into these categories. And depending on what you, or how much you are concerned, they kind of clustered that, grouped them into these kind of profiles. To read it in a simple way, you can say that, okay, the privacy maximizers are those which are highly concerned about their privacy settings. Like they want to block people from watching what they are doing. They want to screen everything which goes about them in the online world. So that's about how they are. So they had done that based on the Facebook, but we wanted to actually do it for all the settings, and we ended up with the 5 profiles. We extended that for all the 3 social networks. This actually happened in February. Because what we notice is the problem doesn't stop with the social networks. Even when we are traversing or we are doing something on the websites, the companies are actually tracking us. But why are they tracking us? Probably they want to give you discounts based on your birthdays. But why do they want our birthdays? That's one question which you have to ask. So if you want the power to actually stop those trackers. So we tried to figure out all those things into an app which we can make for Intel Security. And what we are offering is a preference assessment. We are offering a kind of a way to privacy management. You can block the trackers. And in the end, it's actually built on a framework which can be extended to any social network or the websites. What the users will get is they can identify the problem, the privacy concern, which right now there is no way to actually identify that there is a gap in the settings. they can fix it, and then they can work on it. And with this, we are offering to the Intel Security a way to actually expand their privacy portfolio. Sorry, I was not able to show you the demo because of the time constraint, but it's all covered there. So in short, I would say we want to actually expand Intel's profile portfolio into privacy also.
Thank you, Ritesh. It was educative and interesting. Would you all take a minute and give your feedback to Ritesh? Okay. I see Kelly is back, so we are on track with our planned agenda. I think you all know that cartoons way back when it started was black and white. And do you know which was the first cartoon character? Which was black and white, of course. Do you know the name of the cartoon character?
Mickey Mouse?
Sorry?
Mortimer Mouse. Bosco?
No. Yeah, this was in 1860s something, so probably most of us won't know. And I didn't know either till I Googled it. And there could be controversies whether it was this
Felix.
person. Felix the cat.
Felix? You don't know Felix?
I haven't seen this, so I think I'll go back and maybe search on YouTube to see what this was about. But I did check out few videos of these cartoons, and the animation is so different that it just took me back, and I had to think twice on how far we have come with technology. Moving on, our second speaker's favorite was the very famous Tom and Jerry. And she always feels it made her smile, and till today it always brings a smile on her face. Currently, the only cartoon characters she watches at home are Wild Kratts and Arthur. I'm assuming it's because of her son. She's doing her project too, Organize Your Speech. Title is Gardening, How Difficult It Can Be. Please welcome Rashmi Salvi.
Thank you, Anjana. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. So last week we celebrated Earth Day, and my tiny contribution to our dear planet is having my very own vegetable garden. I was born and brought up in Mumbai, which is a metro city in India. So growing your own vegetables in city was kind of a new idea for me. But mind you, my mom had a small garden nestled in a very small balcony. I'm not even sure whether I can call it a garden because it just had few potted flower plants. But when I came here to US, I got to know of the self-reliant green people who were growing their own vegetables, who were baking their own bread, who even had chickens so that they can have fresh eggs for breakfast every day, and had beehives for homemade fresh organic honey. And I was impressed. I was like, yay. So I ran all these ideas with my husband, and who carefully nudged me towards gardening. And that's how I had my first vegetable garden here in the Bay Area. So when I started, like being a typical parent, being a typical mom, I wanted to grow each and every vegetable I could think of. Because that way I could motivate my son to eat them all. But unfortunately, I had a very small garden patch. And I had to select very few to start with. My initial success with gardening was with methi, that is fenugreek plants, and which I grew in a simple aluminium tray. And within few days, my methi plants were almost half feet tall, and I was dreaming of making malai methi matar, which is an Indian vegetable curry liked by my son. But one day, my son came running to me and he was like, "Mom, we have a big brown hair in our garden." And I peered out, and actually, there was a big brown hair eating my methi. I couldn't believe my eyes. Of all the plants and of all the grass around, he had to go for methi, fenugreek. And I kept wondering, I didn't know that hares are such health-conscious animals. Because as you would know, fenugreek is known for all its health benefits. They help you with cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure. So I kept wondering, for which ailment is this poor bunny eating my plants? And I stood there, moaning and crying, whereas my son was just happy and jumping with joy. Being such an animal lover, he could thank me enough for having that garden. And he kept wondering, oh, so today we are having hare, maybe tomorrow some other animal might follow. And he's like, "Mom, we might even have a deer in our garden. You need to plant more." So at least someone was really happy with my gardening. But the hare was not the only nemesis to my garden. There were many. And one such was a squirrel. So she would come very often to the garden and dug almost half of it. And I kept wondering, what is exactly she trying to find there or hide there? My ever-vigilant son one day came to me and he's like, "Mom, there's a squirrel back in the garden and she's digging and I've caught her red-handed." So I went there. I was like, my mere presence would just scare her off. And I stood there and I was absolutely wrong because when I went out, she just stared back at me. She was glaring at me and she stood her ground and she looked as if she was saying, "What is this woman doing outside? Can't she see I'm very busy doing work here?" So I took a rake and I tried to show her off with all my might. And off she went, and I was pleased, but it was just temporal, because the moment I turned my back, she had come back. So I realized, I thought of a cartoon character, my name is Krat. Does anyone remember that a corn-crazy Ice Age squirrel whose only aim was to get the biggest acorn? And I realized that, okay, I can't fight with her, I can't get rid of her. Somehow, my garden just has to sustain her digging. With her, my gardening efforts still continues. And today, like this year, I thought I'd grow some strawberries. So I got some strawberry plants. And I was absolutely delighted when I saw my first bunch of strawberries. And I was dreaming of making all kind of strawberry dishes. And when my strawberries started turning red, all of a sudden, one by one, all 6 of the strawberries just disappeared. And I was like, oh, it's that squirrel again. So I bought a net and I covered my plant with a net. And one might think it will help save my strawberries, but no. Till date, I don't know who's eating my strawberries. Maybe there is some smart animal, some smart, maybe a bird or even a bug who's eating it and maybe laughing at me. And so now, my garden has become a mystery spot, and I'm still trying to solve the mysteries of who is eating my strawberries. Having said so, in spite of all my failures in gardening, gardening does give me a lot of happiness, ease, and satisfaction. And I'm hopeful one day I'll be successful and have a lush green vegetable garden. Thank you.
Such an interesting story, Rashmi. I'm sure everyone will smile now, but I'm sure what frustration you went through when you saw everything disappearing. But it's a great experience. Would you all please take a minute and give feedback to Rashmi? Now that we know this audience loves Tom and Jerry, do you know what they were called when they were originally made? Anyone? They were called Jasper and Jinx. Oh. Yeah, and it was a suggestion from another MGM animator, and they came up with Tom and Jerry, and no wonder now it's so popular and everybody knows these characters. The next session of our meeting is very exciting, and I can see everybody's nervous face. Our table topics master also enjoyed Tom and Jerry, and the most interesting thing for him was the chasing around. He enjoyed the chasing the most in that show. Please welcome Shankaraya Ontaru to conduct the table topic session.
Hi everybody. Before starting, I'm congratulating this Ramesh Javaram for winning that one. From last 2 weeks I was busy in project. I could not spend time on preparing this stuff, table topics. But before going to that, I want to say thanks to Sheila. She mentioned what is the mean by fear. Forget everything and run. That's the first one. Second one is forget everything and rise. So I falls under first one. I run away. Because in college also I won't give seminars. Speaking in front of people means till I have a lot of inside fear. So, but when I see the Sheila one, yes, I have to pick second one, right? So that's why I asked my manager, I'm skipping today meeting, and I came to this year. Yeah, that's the one thing. And today's, I think digital life, Ritesh, you very good. Before bringing Intel security into private side, I think I have to bring my Facebook or post everything to private side. Can you share if possible that information? Because before uploading my kids' photos, I want to make sure all the checklist, whether all passed or not. Thanks. So then I don't have time. I asked my wife to please prepare some questions. I don't have time. Honestly, she prepared some questions. So okay. So I have some random questions. Coming to this theme cartoons. In my childhood, I like Tom and Jerry, old version. The new version I don't somehow not like. The old version I like more. The chasing and everything. That time in black and white TV I was watching. So I can't forget the movies. So I have few questions and I'll ask one person. So first question. If God given you a boon, means wish, that nobody see you in the day. So you cannot be visible to anybody. So then what will you do? I think everybody understands the question. Your bone means wish. So what will you do? I think my friend will wish Paresh.
I knew that moment he came, I knew it would be me next one. So the question is that what will I be doing if I have a wish and I'm invisible? The first thing I will do is I'll take a break from all the work that we do here and run away to my mom in India and have some fun time and come back. That's the thought comes in my mind first. Next thing I will be roaming around, attending some executive meetings where I'm not invited, to understand what's happening, what's coming up in future for all of us, as we know what's going on around us. It's better to be well aware in advance. What next is I'll be attending my son's secret meetings with his friends because he's a teenager and I was a teenager and I know what goes there. I don't want him to repeat the same mistakes I did. So that's what I think of. Thank you.
I know. That's why I chosen you for this question. Very nice. Yeah. Second question. Nowadays, if you want to go to any movie, also we'll go to the online reviews for anything. If you want to buy any product also, so we'll read the online reviews. So how much will you trust online review? Is it useful, or it is having some actual perception of somebody impacting on another review. So I would like to invite Rich on this. Sorry.
So just to make sure I understand the question,
Yeah.
how much do I use and trust online reviews?
Yeah. What is your comment on online reviews?
Okay. I love online
Yeah.
reviews.
Is it useful or is it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think online reviews are a wonderful invention. Can you always trust them? No. And like anything else, you have to use your own judgment to decide whether these are reasonable reviews or not. Some sites I trust more. I tend to trust reviews on things like Amazon. But even those you take with a grain of salt. You know, is what they're saying something that I care about? You know, I definitely like looking at the number of stars that are available. You know, I'm going to buy this thing. Oh, it's got 4.5 stars. Great, I'm going to get that. And then the first thing that I do is I look at the 1 stars to see if they're really complaining about something or they're just mouthing off. You get the, I don't like this company, so I'm giving them 1 star. There's this one little thing that I don't like, so I'm going to give them 1 star. In which case, I forget about the 1 stars. So it's very much an interactive process that I go through as I use these the reviews to decide what I'm going to purchase. But I am a strong proponent of online reviews. I think this is one of the examples where the socialness of these different platforms is a really good thing. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So we know so many people who have big, successful persons. So do you think talent is an important thing to success or hard work? Which one is high precedence? Which I think, Saira.
When you read this topic out, I kind of wished for the first time that it would be me. Who is called? I'm a nervous person, that's why. Because I'm a very big supporter of hard work. Because probably I believe I'm not that very talented. Because I kind of believe I'm always surrounded with such talented people. If I just look at my team, there is somebody who can paint, cook, draw, pick excellent, beautiful clothes, and I know some people know who it is. And I feel that I don't excel in any of those things. And then there are other people who is interested in gardening, they get time to read books when they go back home, and I'm always struggling with time, right? But then I do believe that I work hard at certain things in which I have interest, and it's just because of pure hard work that sometimes, I think I am able to achieve something. So I respect a lot people who work hard, because I believe that they don't have anything that God has given them, and they're enjoying the benefit, but they're just working extra hard to achieve what they want to do. So I'm really jealous of people who have those talents, because I don't have them, and I really have to work more harder to achieve whatever, or to do whatever they are doing. I think that would be it.
Thank you, Saira. If you have a power to do anything, full power by Obama, so what will you do in one day? So I think Joe.
Wow, that is a very, very difficult question, because I kind of am afraid of taking a leadership role because there's so much to do. It's almost like, sometimes it still feels like you're dealing with children, dealing with other people. I know that certain people are easier to work with than others. I had power of Obama, what would I do? I don't envy Obama at all. Because he's having to deal with a Congress that's always saying, no, 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 I don't want you to do this because you're the other party. You're a Democrat. I don't want you to do any success at all, even if it's something I like, or I liked 4 years ago. But I guess that would be if I would say I wish I could change that, but then again, I'll get battled against it in Congress. It's like, but I guess if I had Obama's position, I would actually take that presidential power and try to advocate certain things to improve things, like try to push the water restrictions or water ways to fix the drought in California. Try to get us to invest more in solar power. And I think MIT actually had a discovery where they had using solar power in order to help fix the water shortage in California, so we can tackle 2 birds in 1 stone. So that's what I would do if I was in a position like Obama. Thank you.
And next one, what would be the world after 50 years? So in terms of technology, anything, what it is going to be after 50 years? I think, I don't know.
Ah, Daniel.
Daniel.
Okay, so the world in 50 years. So I could come up here and come up with something crazy, but I think, what would I want it? I think the world in 50 years hopefully will be a better place. A place where people are more educated, not just in particular countries, but across the globe. A place where people care about the world a lot more. A place where we care about being green, that we showed today. A place where children are happier, and not only that, but they can dream more, and those dreams can actually become our reality. We need to bring back the American dream in a big sense, right? But not just American dream, we need to make it a world dream, where someone can start from nothing and rise to the top, where someone could be at the top and encourage movements that will change the lives of people at the bottom. I hope that in 50 years, technology comes so far ahead that we're able to diagnose health diseases a lot sooner. We're able to operate and do preventive surgeries and just expand the life of everybody. In all, I want the world in 50 years to be a better place than when I got it, or when I had it. I want to leave it so that my kids, my family, everybody from the future can enjoy it, right? They can enjoy the nature, the beauty, the parks that we get to see, all the things that make us happy. And I hope that all the things that make us sad and negative slowly start going away. It's not easy, and it's most likely not possible, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be trying, right? Because at the end of the day, as long as we try and we have the correct motives, good things will happen. So the world in 50 years, I hope it's a better one. That's it.
We'll come to 6 questions.
Great questions. I think you should give the credit to your panel.
Yeah.
Let us take a moment and vote for the best table topic speaker. Moving on to the evaluation portion of the meeting, I would like to call our General Evaluator, Karishma Damani, back.
So as Madam Toastmaster mentioned, we've come to the evaluation portion of our meeting. This is an extremely important part of the meeting since the speakers who gave prepared speeches gets feedback from their fellow Toastmaster members. So with that, I would now like to welcome Madam Evaluator Kavita Das to evaluate the speech given by Ritesh Kumar.
Thank you, Karishma, and my fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Ritesh. That was a good speech. I missed your presentation in Gitathon, so this is what I missed. And I saw the message that you were giving through protecting digital life was pretty strong. Many of us may not know about it, but this was, you had a lot of good material that you used. For the project 2 evaluation, I have, it's a little higher level evaluation than project 1. So what are the areas that I really like in your speech is, it's a well-prepared material and very educational, as I mentioned. A lot of things I did not know. I don't use Facebook. I have an account. I don't use it. But these are informational for many of us. And the confidence that you showed in your speech was really good. That's what I really liked about it. It's like you're confident on the material, maybe because you have done it in the past, but that shows in your speech. And I would say this is a very high quality content that is presented. The areas that I would say, that's not a lot of whole, but areas that I would improve, I would suggest improve on it. So if you are showing something like this, and probably I would just say point out, okay, what is in common between those pictures that were shown? So that would be more impactful to the audience. Oh, keep thinking, what is common in it? Maybe I would ask the question also. So can you guess what is the commonality between those pictures? And also, that itself would also make you do the eye contact more than looking at the slides. You would do more eye contact with the audience. Last one, impactful introduction, meaning that would keep the audience engaged. What is that you wanted to show in protecting digital life? What was your, maybe they would keep guessing, maybe they would come up with that idea, but something that you can put an impact to the audience as the first introduction. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Can I now welcome Kelly Tang to evaluate the speech given by Rashmi?
Great speech, Rashmi. I really enjoyed your speech, and I found it that gardening can be difficult. So Rashmi's speech is to organize her speech. One of the things that she has to do is organize it in a manner to lead this audience in a clear, defined goal. The speech should also have a body, beginning, body, and conclusion with facts, appropriate supporting material, and smooth transitions. I think her speech had all this. For speech value, I thought it was a great experience. It's easy to relate to everybody. It's even a very funny story. Preparation, I thought it was very well prepared. It looks like you rehearsed it a couple of times before you actually went on stage, so that was really well prepared. Organization, I thought it was a great flow. You went from the gardening idea to actually gardening, and now you had like issues that made it difficult for gardening. Opening, I thought it was a great opening. You had a whole Earth Day connection from last week, so I thought that was a really good opening. The body, smooth flow. You stated, the issue / pest. You gave the examples and the cause and effect of it. Conclusion, I thought it could be a little stronger. One of the things that you mentioned at the end, okay, so yeah, I thought it could be a little stronger. I kind of wish that you could elaborate how you would change to get these. What are your solution to the pests in your gardening? Transitions, I thought it was very fluid. It's great, great. You really gave me a good image of the hair and the vegetables and the squirrels that are eating up your vegetables. What's one thing that I could have the speaker done differently to make the speech more effectively? I wish you kind of showed the pictures of your garden. I know you mentioned something about Indian garden, and I mean vegetable, Indian vegetable. I had no idea what it is. I kind of wish that you kind of showed like the garden, but you had really good images of like animals eating your vegetable. But I can't picture your garden and stuff. What did I like about the presentation? You showed a very good passion. You had great hand gestures. You could see the passion out of your face when you're talking about your garden, and you could see the anger when animals came and eat it. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Can I have my team to give their evaluations? So, can I have Grammarian Paresh Tyagi to give his report? You can stand.
It was overall a great experience. Everybody was grammatically correct, at least for my side. I have very less knowledge maybe on this. But two people I would like to really appreciate. They used the word of the day, temporal. Both Pritesh and Rashmi, they used that in their speeches. Overall, it was a great, grammatically correct statements most of the time. Otherwise, I didn't know more grammar than that. Thank you.
Can I have Madam Timekeeper Saira Sunan to give a report on the speeches and data?
Both the speakers were on their time limit. Ritesh, you took, I would say, Ritesh went a little bit overboard, 7 minutes and 8 seconds, so 8 seconds overboard. Rashmi was well on time, 5 minutes, 27 seconds. Coming to the table topics, I think I really want to point this out. Out of 5 speakers, 4 of them spoke above 1 minute, which is quite an achievement, I think, because including me, I used to always speak less than 1 minute. So Paresh spoke for your only exception, sorry, 55 seconds. Rich, 1 minute 35 seconds. Myself, 1 minute 22 seconds. Joe, 1 minute 23 seconds. Daniel, 1 minute 46 seconds. And coming to the evaluators, Kavita, you took 2 minutes 22 seconds. Kelly, 2 minutes 36 seconds. Thank you so much.
Can I request Ali to give his report, please?
Sure. Jana, you only had 1 off. Karishma, you had also 1 off only. Ritesh, you only had 1 I mean, which I thought was not appropriate the way you used it. Rashmi, you had 1 long pause and you had 1 off. Shankar, you had 2 offs. Paresh, you had only 1 off. Richard, you had 2 you-knows. In the way that I thought. Sarah, you had 2 offs. And you also had 1 you-know. Joe, you had 1 but, which I thought was an inappropriate interjection. Daniel, you only had 1 off. Kavita, you had 5 offs. And Kelly, you had 5 offs and 1 long off.
Thank you. So now I have a few overall comments for the meeting. Our meeting started about 3 minutes late, 3 to 5 minutes late. We had to change the agenda a little bit, and thanks, Kelly, you came back, so we're back on track. I really enjoyed the theme. It brought this fun element to the meeting, and the questions and the surveys in between the speeches were very, very entertaining. So great job on that. I also enjoyed learning which cartoons all our fellow Toastmaster members really enjoy, and it was a great introduction to all their speeches as well. In terms of speeches, speakers prepared really well, and both seemed extremely educated on their particular topics. And overall, and I can say on behalf of all the team members, we really enjoyed, and it was very educative. I know a little bit about gardening, and I'll come back to you at some point, I'm sure. In terms of table topics, You gave a good introduction. The topics were very varied, so it was great. However, the thing to keep in mind is to not call upon people who already have a role. So we can go with people who doesn't have a role so they can also get a chance to speak. In terms of evaluations, both Kavita and Kelly, they did a very good job. It was extremely pointed. You pointed out all the positives as well as the areas of improvements for both our speakers. So great job there. Overall, I would say it was a fun meeting, very, very enjoyable, great theme, and with that, I'll pass it on to our Toastmaster for the day.
Thanks, Karishma. Very detailed report. I think we all have something to take back now. We are right on time, and I would like to call our VP of Education, Ritesh, back to close. You can do honors.
Drum roll. Today's winner is Daniel. Thank you. And thank you everybody for joining in. I'm thankful to Sheila for giving all of us chance to actually adjourn the meeting. Last week it was rich, we enjoyed. Today this time it's mine. So with this, we want to adjourn the meeting.